You can have the perfect planner, the color-coded calendar, the 6 a.m. morning routine, but if your mind is messy, everything feels like it's chaos. Trust me, I've been there. In this video, I'm sharing 7 powerful mindset habits that didn't just make me more productive, they helped me be more peaceful, more grounded, and more like myself. This is about letting go of what no longer serves you, healing from the inside out, and becoming the version of you that you know you're capable of being. If you're new here, I'm Lukey, a career coach with over 10 years of experience helping professionals create a more purposeful and fulfilling career. On this channel, I share practical tips to boost your career and confidence. We all hit a point where everything on the outside looks fine, but inside, we're crumbling. For me, that moment was my quarter career crisis. I was supposedly doing well, being groomed to be a partner of a Big 4 firm, wife, kids, and a house in the suburbs. I had everything I was supposed to, but I wasn't fulfilled. What I was becoming was no longer who I wanted to be. And worse yet, I didn't even know what I wanted to be. It was like the old me died. And if you've ever lost a loved one before, you know how painful that could be. I spiraled for a while. I numbed myself with distractions and tried to keep busy to avoid feeling anything. But eventually, I realized I had 2 paths. Stay stuck in suffering, or start changing me. These habits didn't happen overnight. They were slow, sometimes painful lessons, but they shifted how I saw myself, my story, and the way I live day to day. Everyone talks about productivity hacks, wake up early, work out, plan your week, and yes, those help. But what changed my life wasn't just doing more, it was thinking differently. These 7 mindset habits are not about doing more or about doing less. They're about doing things with more purpose. Less noise, more clarity, less control, more trust. And most importantly, less self-judgment and more self-compassion. You can't heal what you don't own, and you can't own what you aren't aware of. Take time to get to know yourself. Journaling helps. Speaking to a therapist or a coach can help as well. You can do an emotional check-in. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Where do I feel in my body? What triggered this feeling? Also learn to understand what you want. Before you start your day, ask, how do I want to show up today? What energy do I want to bring into this space? You could do a Johari window exercise, where you look to uncover what is known to yourself and known to others, then not known to yourself and not known to others. As your awareness grows, then you'll want to take radical responsibility. Radical responsibility means accepting that you didn't choose what happened to you, but you do choose what you do next. For years, I blamed life for being unfair, always wanting what I didn't have, but blame never moved me forward. Responsibility did. To me, this means asking, what's one area of my life I've been avoiding, blaming, or outsourcing? And how can I take ownership today? As a pro tip, write a letter to yourself from the future version of you who already took responsibility. What would they thank you for starting today? Letting go isn't a weakness, it's power. I used to cling to past mistakes, even old identities that no longer fit, but it was exhausting. The Buddha said, in a world of constant change, we suffer because we cling. That doesn't mean we stop caring. Instead, letting go taught me to stop carrying what was never mine to hold. When I finally made space, peace rushed in. Start with awareness of what you need to let go of. Journaling can help again. What things stress you? What do you feel guilty about? What do you feel ashamed of? When you have a few items on your list, practice letting go. Consider using The Work by Byron Katie. For each item, ask yourself 4 questions, then do a turnaround. Question 1 is it true? It's a simple yes or no, and just stay still and let the answer come from within. Is the thought a fact or a story I'm telling myself? Question 2, can you absolutely know that it's true? Dig deeper. Could there be another explanation? What proof do I have to the contrary? Question 3, how do you react? What happens when you believe that thought? You can tune into your emotions, your body, and your behavior, or complete this sentence. When I believe this thought, I feel, maybe you withdraw, you yell, you people please, etc. And question 4, who would you be without that thought? Imagine your life in the same situation, but without that thought. How would you feel, act, and move? Complete the sentence, without this thought, I'd be more, or I'd feel more, or I'd do more. If your thoughts are particularly troublesome, ask a family member, a friend, mentor, coach, or a therapist for help. As a pro tip, let go intentionally by writing down what you're releasing on paper, then physically ripping it up or burning it, and make sure you do it safely. Growing up, I wanted to be liked by everyone. I chased attention, primarily for validation, but the more people I tried to please, the less I knew who I was. Over time, I realized I don't need 100 people who kinda know me. I need a handful of people who truly see me for me. Real connection takes depth, vulnerability, and safety. And yes, sometimes letting go of people who are never meant to stay. Consider doing a network or social audit. Focus on family and friends, plus the acquaintances or colleagues you want to have as friends. Which are the relationships that you want to nurture and grow? Ask yourself, who energizes me? Who drains me? Who do I feel safe around? Then choose who you want to spend more time with. As a pro tip, do a social audit every 3 months and allocate time weekly or a few times a month to work out your social health, just like you would for physical or mental health. Most of us don't really listen. We wait our turn to speak, we listen to be right. But healing starts when we listen to understand. Empathic listening is about getting out of our own story and stepping into someone else's. It's not easy, but it changes relationships, and it humbles your heart. As a pro tip, in your next conversation, resist the urge to relate it back to yourself. Just listen, pause, then respond. Plus, learn to follow your curiosity. When you become interested, then you become more interesting. And sometimes, listening deeply to someone else helps you hear yourself more clearly. Dr. Shefali Sabari has a quote that I like to paraphrase. What they trigger is something in you that needs work. So as you listen more to what other people say, take some time to listen to your own thoughts about what they said. Consider taking some of those thoughts and going back to the letting go step to keep up the progress. Should is safe. Must is where your soul lives. When you live by should, you follow expectations, you play small, and you live for approval. But when you follow must, you tap into your truest self. The challenge is that choosing must is scary, but it's also where real alignment, creativity, and joy live. Ask yourself, what's one must I've been ignoring because it feels too risky now? Then, take one small step toward it. As a pro tip, keep a must journal. Every time you feel a deep pull or intuition, write it down. Over time, a pattern will emerge. We tend to live in extremes, hustle or burnout, all in or shut down. But peace lives in the middle. Walking the middle path means making room for contradictions. It means holding joy and grief at once. It's emotional maturity, and it's liberating. You can even create a middle path mantra. For example, I can rest without quitting. I can work without burning out. This mindset helped me stop swinging between chaos and control and start building some steady peace. As a pro tip, name your extremes. Then journal what the healthy middle would look like. Not balance, but harmony. Death isn't morbid, it's clarifying. When I started asking, if today were my last day, how would I live it? Then everything changed. I forgave faster, I spoke more kindly, I stopped waiting. Tonight, ask yourself, if this were my last night, who would I call? What would I say? Then go and do it. Remember that fragility of life makes every moment more sacred. And the small stuff suddenly becomes very small. Consider the quote, don't sweat the small stuff. And remember, it's all small stuff. As a pro tip, set a reminder. Remember you will die. Use it not to fear, but to focus. I have an annual reminder, which is my birthday. Getting your life together isn't about controlling everything. It's about releasing what no longer fits and reclaiming who you really are. These 7 mindset habits aren't just strategies, they're lifelines. They're anchors. They're invitations to come home to yourself. Because peace doesn't happen by accident, it happens with intention. And your new life? It starts with a new mindset. Which mindset habit spoke to you most? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. Subscribe if you want more content that nourishes your growth. You're not alone in this. Before you click off, if you'd like help to find your purpose, click here. And if you want help to level up your mindset, click here. Until next time, be focused and stay inspired.